already for 11 years and worked with more than 150 projects in that time. The biggest website I've dealt with was one of the social networks, which is 300 million pages or even bigger already. So a little bit upset that there will be no questions during the webinar because I wanted it to be a little bit more kind of like a live discussion. But if you want, you can just write your answers in the chat and I'll just see them. So first thing we're gonna discuss is I know that like most of you guys here are pretty advanced SEO analysts. I've seen the list of registrants, but I know that there's also a part of participants which are not that experienced, let's say. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, if you actually know what this is, what is this on the slide, and why? Is there any reason why are we discussing backrub? Okay, no answers. Probably most of you see this thing for the first time. Yes, thanks, Ryan. Yes, this is the correct answer. Well, backrub is actually the first, like, let's say, the prototype of Google, which was the result of the university project. I guess it was a Larry Page's university project, and it was the first ever search engine which was oriented not only on checking the text on the pages, basically in the titles of the pages, text documents, but also was checking the connections between those documents and which are links, obviously. And this laid in the very bottom of all the algorithms, and it was the, like, let's say the different thing from all of the other search engines that existed at that time. So Google is primarily oriented on links, on outbound links, inbound links, and so on. So as we also know, that backrub is basically a form of saying the word backlink. So something which is going from the back, from one page to another, pointing relevancy and pointing like where to crawl and etc. Why are links needed? Because links, as I've said, they pass relevancy and they pass strength from one text document to another, building page rank. Some people say that page rank is no longer, we don't need to think about page rank anymore because no one is actually already talking about it. Mostly, I don't even think that modern SEO analysts, they don't even like operate this kind of like term. They probably only think about link juice or something like this, but page rank is still alive. It's not updated. I mean, it's not updated for public purposes. It's only the internal data in Google, and it's still one of the ranking factors. On the left, you can see like the formula, like the scheme, which allows to understand how it's how page rank for each text document is calculated, and page rank is passed through links. And in order to calculate the proper page rank, the correct one, you need to make a couple of iterations in order to get the correct number. On the right, you can see like a very simplified form of how page rank is distributed between links and how it influences and rankings of other pages. We'll talk about page rank, I guess, in the bottom of the in the end of the presentation a little bit again. And one of the things I want you all just to walk through a little bit is there are two things that we need to acknowledge and know when we're talking about links. So first, sorry guys, someone is unmuted.
Θα φύγεις τώρα. Μόλις τελείωσε αυτό. 6. Πού κάθεσαι κάτω. Θα έρθω να σου βρω, εντάξει.
Okay. Yeah. So first thing about no follow links is that probably first thing is that about probably 4 or 5 years ago, no follow attribute in a tag is no longer a direct rule. It's a recommendation for Google. So whether you have an internal or external no follow link, it doesn't mean that Google will not visit the link that you're referring to from your page or your domain. That's number one. And the second thing to mention about no follow links, that a long time ago, probably in 2013, 2014, no follow links worked in a wrong way. So basically, when you place a no follow link on your page, the page rank or the signals to that link would not have been transferred to the page you're referring to. But nowadays, it works like the page which you refer to, which you link to as no follow, is just not getting the page rank, any distribution, any ranking signal, but all the other pages which are linked from the same page are getting less link juice, less page rank distribution than they should have. And second thing, which we also need to remember, is that not all clickable elements that stand us to other pages on our site are links, and not all of them have to be links. This is one of the things that everyone needs to know, because like Google follows only links. Sometimes we use buttons or JavaScript elements to for users to get to sorting or limitation or filtering on our site, or even sometimes even pagination. We use them sometimes, these approaches on purpose in order not to allow Google to visit those pages. But sometimes there are rare cases when JavaScript or buttons are used in elements on the page which need to be indexed, and where Google needs to crawl those links and get to other parts of your website in order to scan, index, and rank those pages. Okay, so in case if there are no questions at this point, I'm happy to proceed. So the role of interlinking, we're talking about internal links today mostly, and I've listed here a couple of reasons why you need to pay attention to your internal links. And let's start from the bottom up. First thing to know, and first thing to acknowledge, is that Google uses links to find new information on the internet. Recently, they've said that like about 40% of all the content on the web is like kind of like trash or duplicated. So that's why there were massive core updates in March, and even one going on right now. But nevertheless, even despite the issue they have with ChatGPT and other generative languages that generate content like very, very fast, they need to find new information online. They need to dig up new text documents. So first thing we need to remember about interlinking is that new internal links help index our pages faster. New internal links help us to pass relevancy to pages. And on the other hand, if we don't want any elements on our site to be indexed, we do not need to link to them. Indexation, as everyone know that it's a complicated and multi-step process. First thing we can control is scanning. So by reducing or enlarging the number of internal links to certain parts of the website, you fix the scanning issue. You allow Google to at least see the new URLs and then prioritize them for scanning in the pace of your crawl budget for your domain. Next level is the middle level, is where we already can feel something, how those internal links work for the sake of our website rankings or earning money. So those links, they pass relevancy. They pass relevancy by anchors. They pass link juice from highly interlinked pages like hub pages or like the front page, which is always the most boosted with page rank. And there will be also one case later today. So later, I mean, in this webinar. So everyone knows when you link some new page or some important page for you from a front door, it gets immediate impressions because of the relevancy and the authority which the front door page passes to it, or any other hub page that you have on your website. So basically, as also mentioned here, you can prioritize some of the certain pages and increase website crawlability if you have all your internal links structured, for example, as a silo method. The top level is that after we set up all the things like interlinking structure, after we set up all the correct anchors, after we've optimized internal linking on pagination, filters, we have everything. We have properly installed href length, and we have canonical set up properly. We understand that we will see the improvement in positions on SERPs in Google. We will see that the CTR might change if Google understands website structure properly and clearly. There will be blue links in a search snippets. Those are small clickable elements. Especially they're visible mostly on branded searches, but not only limited to that. So, for example, if you have if the query is about some category on the website, if the tree structure is very clear to Google, then he might show additional links on your search snippet. This is not controllable, unfortunately, in Google Search Console, so there is no special schema for that, but you definitely can see the growth of the CTR for your snippet for this kind of, let's say, rich result. By combining the UX and by combining the interlinking logic, you can also play with the user engagement on your site and with the navigation. You can improve the navigation for users. For example, if you're showing top categories on the same level of pages, or for example, some seasonal products or seasonal categories in the first screen or above the fold, then definitely you will see more user engagement, which will lead to more revenue. And the last level, which is like the highest one, we can call it as a cherry on the top of the cake or top of the pie. So yeah, the eventual goal for us when we're done with interlinking is to boost our website revenue. One of the things also to remember is that when we have a website, there definitely is a part of it which needs to be scanned, which needs to be crawled, indexed, and ranked. There is also, of course, a big part of the website which has no search volume potential, no monthly search volume potential, and those pages should not be indexed, and Google shouldn't spend any crawl budget on those pages. So we always need to remember that Googlebot will crawl a part of the pages which he shouldn't, and won't crawl the part of the pages that he should. In order to fix this situation, we need the internal links, and we need to optimize our internal structure, use meta name robots in order to strictly not allow him crawling anywhere, and use JavaScript elements and buttons instead of links, in order not to let Google to website areas where he doesn't need to be. In addition, actually, there could be two more rings, two more circles in this diagram. Is that there is also another part, which is like there is a website, there is a search bot or a Google bot, and there is always a user which also can use both parts of the website, the pages which have search volume potential, and which are kind of like service pages which do not have search volume potential. So combination. The part number one is, of course, the pages with 301, 302 code, fourth class, like 403, 404 pages, 410 pages, and the fifth class pages as server errors. You can always find them in the crawler. if especially good when you have like a full crawl done by JetOctopus in your account, and if you combine it together with the logs, you can see the full picture. So there are cases when we have like about like this one, like 57% of 302s or 301s, but Google is not, let's say, crawling them. That means that the issue is not that big, and the task to fix internal redirections might not be as important as it would have been if 60% of crawl budget would also be wasted on 301, 302s. The example here is the website that probably have suffered after recent redesign or recent moving to some other CMS. I'm not very sure what happened there, but this is like very clear case when something like this happens. And this kind of situation happens sometimes when no SEO specialist or no special crawling tool like JetOctopus is used when you're doing the website rebuild or something like this. Second thing is one of my favorite is the question where we mostly have arguments with the other SEOs or with business owners or with top stakeholders. So sometimes in order to prevent pages from indexation, we use all the ways in order not to allow Googlebot to scan them. And the only thing we need to remember here is that it's written right in the Google support. Do not use robots.txt file in order to close the pages from crawling, because this file is used only for files. We can't even use robots.txt for PDFs because Google also ranks them as separate pages online. So robots.txt, canonical tag, and the meta robot tag also are conflicting rules. Canonical, on the other hand, is a recommendation for Google not to rank the page. Only meta name robots tag is a strict rule not to scan the page. Google will see the URL, but the page will not appear in Google index or even a supplementary index. The example on the right is the combination of robots.txt and canonical, or robots.txt and meta robot tag. Sometimes I even see pages closed with three, let's say, ways to get close to them. So sometimes there are pages which are closed in robots.txt with canonical and meta robot tag. You cannot combine canonical tag and meta robot tag together also, because the page will be in supplementary index for sure, especially if there are internal links there. So rule number one, you can set these filters in order to find the pages in your crawl, or you can find a combination of them, like a canonical and robots.txt, or robots.txt with the meta tag, or robots.txt together with meta tag. And on the other hand, if we can see internal links to these kind of pages, this is also the thing. This is also the factor that will enforce or not allow Google to index those pages. So no internal links and only meta robots tag in order to prevent unnecessary pages from being indexed, scanned, and so on and so on. Next one, not relevant anchors. So this thing is pretty common, but not all the let's say we cannot distinguish all the anchors, because like usually when we're working with like vast and big websites, the clusters of pages are so big that probably not a single let's say initiative, not a single idea may fix like some really scalable problems. So like, for example, in the second example here in the middle, you can see there are numbers as anchors. Obviously, those are pagination anchors. They are among the most popular anchors for this website. So basically, what the decision and the way to fix this one is like very clear. We need to, for example, enlarge the number of items we show for an per listing page in order to get rid of a big amount of these pages with numbers, right? But for example, for the first, the very left example, we mostly see countries and some miscellaneous pages as top anchor text. What we can do with it? Probably nothing, because like obviously China, Japan, India, China, Japan, India, Singapore, and Australia, those are probably local language versions for the project, and there is no way into like renaming them or optimizing or adding any keywords to those elements. The only thing we can do is to check probably the href length if they're set up properly, and we can change the links which have anchors to different countries as a JavaScript element with the drop down to go to each other language version. So this will not harm positions anyway, but will reduce the number of all internal pages. I would test this kind of change on the website, especially if it's like 5, 7, 10 language versions, or even 5, 7, 10 domains, different domains. There's also one more thing which is visible in each of these examples. There is an empty line in each example. Here it's number 3. Here it's the most frequent anchor, let's say, and here is like also the most frequent alt text for the image. Why is that so? This is the indicator where we see that there is no anchor in the link. So there are some clickable elements, or there are some images which don't have alt text. First of all, if you can link with the text with a normal a tag with a link, it's always better to have a textual link, because like the link anchor passes more relevancy than the alt tag in the image. And the second one is that yes, you should better optimize your alt tags in case you already have a lot of images on your website, because they help to rank your images in Google Images search, right? Not in the more in the images search, not that much in like as in the regular search result. Poorly linked pages on the website section. So this particular example is also one of the most frequent ones. On the left, we can see pretty normal situation where in distribution to the distance from the main page, we can see hundreds or like dozens of links pointing to other pages, right? On first, second, third, and even fourth level, we have about 80 outgoing internal links to other pages of the website. What's interesting here is that there is like too many levels, like 6, 7, 8, 9 even clicks from the main page, and the number of internal links for some of them is even higher than for fourth, third, and second. There is also other, and there is a big amount also of orphan pages, which is not good. The bad thing here on the right is that there is around like 200 internal links pointing to pages on average, but on 2 clicks away from the main page. But 3 clicks away from the main page, there is only 2 internal links on average pointing to an internal page. Why is that so? So probably the quickest and the probably most correct answer here, without looking in the data, of course, is that there is a big amount of orphan pages on the 3rd level, or pages linked with 1 page, which drive down the average number to number 2, right? What we can do here is we can work on pagination and we can work on interlinked components. We should understand what are the sections of the website where we can see the lowest number of internal links pointing to the pages. We can use the structure efficiency tool in JetOctopus in order to find them. This would be like 3 clicks from the index from the main page would be the 3 directories filter in this report. And yes, of course, as we already mentioned in the beginning of the call, do not use no-follow links. If you do not want to link to any internal page, do not link to it, or link with a clickable element as a button or a GS element, or do not use no-follow, because this probably will not work and Google will still go there and index the page. Okay, so before we start with the interlinking case studies, are there any questions or probably ideas you wanted to share, or I can just proceed? Okay, good. So the first case here is the case of mine. It was a couple of years ago. We've been releasing a big Q&A to one of the websites, a marketplace. And we've been using different types of pinned content. We've been using different types of AI generated content there, and the volume of the pages was pretty big. The search volume for all of those pages was like at that time something around like hundreds of thousands per month. So in order to total search volume, not for the first page click-through rate, but we decided to take this step and to release the pages. First thing we did incorrectly was we uploaded first batch of 10K pages at once, and it doesn't work like this. So you need to give Google time in order to gain speed on crawling these pages. So this is, again, we're getting back to the topic of the crawling budget. You need to pay attention to it, and you need to kind of stretch it, and it takes some time for the crawling budget to grow. After getting some initial results, we decided to release 30K more pages, and as you can see, between September and January, we didn't have that many results. The organic traffic to this website section didn't grew much, and after that we decided to add more internal links, and we've applied internal linking with the principle of silo. I think everyone have already heard about this principle. Those were different categories, so we just divided the text document. We divided all those pages into vertical sections, and we interlinked them at least 15 to 20 links from one to another within the same section, and this is the result. So basically, after a couple of weeks, so let's say we've seen results almost on the 3rd week or something like this in January already, and this is what we got. So all the further growth was only about re-indexation of all those pages, and once from time to time this website section, it was a Q&A, was visited by users. They've been registering and they've been posting content there as well. So I can say that this started to happen more actively only 6 months after we've been seeing these results. So probably next summer already. So somewhere, somewhere here. So a year after we actually started this initiative. So yeah, this was just the relevant, let's say, relevant question section on the right in the sidebar, and this is how it works. Case study number 2. This is a fresh one, which I've done in recent months. As I've already that today the way when you link from your main page to some new pages on your website, they definitely get some authority. They have some crawl budget at once, and the front page also passes relevancy. So here you can see a couple of spark lines for different pages. I cannot disclose which ones, but this is the result of 2 weeks change. And the spark lines, they represent the growth of impressions for these 22 pages examples. This change may be launched as a bucket test. If you want, you can test this thing. You can test this approach on your domains. The number of links was about 25 before we changed the interlinking on main pages, and afterwards it boosted to it tripled actually. So it's something around 60, it's something around 70, 75 links on the main page. The test was for 8 domains at once. So basically 8 by 75, that's a lot, almost 600 links. This case is a case of a friend of mine. So they've been pushing the new pages of a new store they've created a lot of pages with tags for an online store, and the tag pages is a very common practice for online retailers when they cannot just let Google, and you shouldn't also let Google index all your filters, right? All your filters or all your internal filter combinations. But sometimes there are cases when there is a certain long tail search volume for, I don't know, like a range of prices, or like mobile phones or cell phones up to £200 or $200. So there is a lot of this kind of search queries online, and usually webmasters create separate sets of pages for that. But there is one question: how to interlink them? Where to put them in your tree structure, in your silo structure? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so this is the pain, this is the question. So for this particular case, these guys have created a as we say, a wizard, a linking wizard, which is a tool which randomly shows pages. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So again, there is a lot of new pages that need to be indexed, and the volume of those pages, I cannot disclose the number of those pages which needed to be indexed, but basically there were hundreds of them. And these guys have created a tool, like an internal interlinking element, a component, which was showing new links every time the page is refreshed. So basically Google every time saw a new set of links, and he at a short period of time got a big set of URLs which were afterwards in his queue for crawling and then indexing and ranking. So, and this is the result. They've got 3 to 5 week-over-week organic users increase in how many weeks are here? So a couple of months. Next one is a case of Rita Abidi from Search Pilot, and this is also similar to the one which I've made about the front door interlinking. But the thing is that they've been changing the number of items they show on pagination pages. This is very similar because, like, and very frequent issue we discussed with the clients within Jet Octopus to increase the number of items they show on pagination pages in order to have less pagination links, less pagination pages, have more content on their first pagination page. So this is how it goes. So they've run a test, and the result is that 11% uplift of organic traffic is for all referent pages. So all the pages that got more, let's say, items shown. So first page of the listing. This is the result. And the last one is also the case of Search Pilot. This time it's Emily Porter. And this one is also about having links above the fold, about having tag links to the pages on the first screen. Remember, I told you that we're going to get back to the discussing the page rank. So the first thing, the most important thing here is that page rank is, well, everyone used to know, and everyone knows that basically it's a simple arithmetics. When you have a number which is divided by the number of links, and then each page which gets the link gets a small piece of the overall page rank for this page. So this is not like 100% like that. Page rank is a probability of a person to click a link when it will be visible. So again, the higher the page rank will be passed by the link from document A to document B, is the more visible the link will be on the page. So here in this particular case, Emily and her team, they have increased the number of links on their category pages to other categories on the same level in their online store. So basically, when you have some types of products, let's say it's some food, right? So you have, I don't know, like vegetables, fruits, you have some vegan products or vegetarian products. And these categories are on the same level. So when you add tag links for on mobile devices and on those desktop devices in the on the first screen, for example, right below the menu or right below the hero image or right above the start of the sorting and navigation or filters. This is what they have done, and this is the result they've got. So yeah, so basically they grew their internal traffic to the newly interlinked categories by what's that? That's like 250% in total. And I guess that's it. That's it with the cases, and that's it with the presentation. We have 10 to 15 minutes left, and I'm happy to answer the questions if you have any. Thanks for your attention. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. So your questions, please.
Yeah, just saying that in case you want to ask something, just raise your hand, and we'll get to your question. Kairan, hello. Yes, we can see impressions versus internal links in JetOctopus if you provide data from your Google Search Console. So basically, you need to have a crawl of your website and connect Google Search Console, and then we do the magic. And afterwards, you're able to combine those two data sets right in your account and see how impressions are distributed among the different website sections, or regarding like in distribution of the number of links that go into that point into your pages. Eleni, thank you for the question. Great examples of internal linking on e-commerce sites. Well, Amazon, obviously, they're linking a lot. They have then, and you can find a lot of things and hidden gems when you kind of like drill down to some very narrow categories. There you can find tag links in the bottom, tag links in the like above the fold, and also a lot of links in the left sidebar. So this is basically the things that they master, to be honest. Beside this big menu that they have, and drop down lists, which actually everyone has, or every e-commerce site. Well, the fast answer is Amazon, but a very good example, a very good idea is always to check non-direct competitors or just the top websites in other industries. There you can even find some things to implement for your website, which no one actually has among your competitors. I always check. Sometimes I check gambling websites. Sometimes I check websites from highly competitive niches in order to find some inspiration. You know. Thanks for your question. Romina, hello. Yes. So yeah, this is a friend of mine case, which was the third one. They had this interlinking component on all their website pages. So it was just a small component with a 5 to 10 links, and they've been showing it like in the sidebar everywhere on all website pages. Thanks for the question. Okay, any more questions? If not, then Julia, yeah, I guess then we can wrap up.
Yes, if there are no questions, thanks everyone for coming, for participating in our webinar. We are going to launch
Thank
more
you.
webinars. So please stay tuned and we'll update you on new events.
Thank you very much, Stanislav, for
Thank you.
for this information.
My pleasure. Thanks everyone for coming. See you.
Can you hear me, Julia? I would like to ask one more question. If I think that there's a problem with the connection, but
I'm
my
still here,
question
but
was,
I can hear you. Yeah, let's do it.
I want to check the importance of each of my pages in terms of their internal links. How can I check if page A is more valuable than page B according to their.
What do you mean by saying more valuable? Does it have more search volume potential? Does it have more external links, or the category is of higher average check? So what's the factor? Hello, can you hear me?
Right now I can hear you, but there was
Yeah.
some connection issue, so I couldn't hear the whole answer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That.
Yeah. Okay. I can repeat it. That's not a problem. So basically, what's the factor which you mean valuable or more important page? Is this page of which has more external links, or has more search volume, monthly search volume, or something else? How do
No,
you?
just
Yeah.
on the internal linking, you know, if let's say if a page has a page rank, it has page rank for external pages and page rank for internal linking. So which you have mentioned that when Google crawls the website based on the internal linking, it gives some value to pages. So is there a way to mimic this on the Jet Octopus? Because I know that many of the SEO tools have this metric. Some call it in-link rank, some call it deep rank, you know.
Okay.
But the question is, I don't know if my page A is more valuable than page B, just according to the internal link.
Okay. So basically, the first thing you can see in Jet Octopus is the total number of internal links pointing to your page. We can show this as, we can also deep dive to the number of internal links from indexable pages, because if your page is interlinked only with pages closed from indexation, this won't work. So you need to have links from pages that actually are indexed and may be indexed. That's number one. Then you can compare this the number of internal links to on this page, for example, which you have in mind, right? With the pages on the same level. For example, with the categories or subcategories, if it's page of a category or a subcategory, and then you will understand whether it's over boosted with internal links or not. But that's a nice hint. That's a nice hint for the new metric or function on Jet Octopus. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll have a note.
I mean, just to make it clear, one of the main reasons that people use Jet Octopus is to see it's for internal linking, right? One of the most powerful features of Jet Octopus is it allows us to see all the details about the internal links, all the metrics about the pages. But because we can't see which page is more valuable in terms of like a score, because Google probably uses some kind of scoring. I mean, even though we don't know the exact algorithm, you have mentioned that it's not a very sophisticated metric, which at least we can try to mimic the Google's algorithm in terms of what they look at when they try to evaluate pages. So I checked. I've used many SEO tools before, and almost all the major SEO tools has some kind of internal page rank, which was very valuable when I was using those SEO tools. But right now I'm using JetOctopus, which I'm very content with it. But the lack of
There's no quick indicator. I got your point.
I mean,
There's
the
no quick
internal linking,
indicator.
the number of internal linking is something to look at, but there are factors which there are some factors that the amount of internal linking doesn't give the whole story. So I just want to take your opinion whether this kind of metric would be valuable, or if not, I would also like to get your opinion.
Well, this idea is actually very valuable, as I've said already and taken a note about it. Definitely, there may be some other factors taken into account while creating some similar metric, as you've said, in other tools, right? For like top in link score or something like this. For example, the link position on the page, whether it's a no follow or do follow link, whether it has an SEO anchor or it's a brand name or it's like an empty anchor, like here click or like section or something like this. Also like a link from an indexable page or non-indexable page. So all these factors, they build up the interlinking indicator. So if you want, we can have a separate call about it, and probably next week.
I mean, right now I'm doing this kind of manual thing, which I export all the internal linkings and try to calculate the internal link with R. But that's a manual process and not very, and it would be, I would much prefer to have it on JetOctopus.
Yeah, that's clear. That's clear. Thank you. Thanks for the idea. And we have one more question. Yeah, no problem. And Tanya Rafalska, hello. Yes, you've asked also a question. What I think from about linking from a category to a product card in SEO text. It's a good case. Yeah, that's a good case. And actually, as already mentioned during this webinar, linking through text, textual links, not images, is more beneficial than linking through images. So yes, linking from a category, subcategory, from a listing, basically through the product name is a good practice. Yeah. Okay. Then I guess we're done. Yulia?
Yes, if there are no questions, we are happy to say that thank you everyone for coming. If you have questions regarding our webinar afterwards, please let me know and I will pass all them to Stan. Thank you, Stan, for your speech, for your knowledge. Really happy to have you at JetOctopus.
Thank you. I'm happy to. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, everyone.